PFL 5 2024 regular season. Let's break down this card. Before we start, guys, like the video, subscribe to the channel. Every like matters, every subscription matters. I appreciate you guys for doing that. Now let's start. Before we start, I just want to say that like PFL is a really good opportunity. There's so many spots here that are quite frankly easy. Okay, usually there's some favorites who are just better. Okay, I'm talking levels above, and we really need to take advantage of that when we have the opportunity. Okay, so I'm not gonna break down these two fights. I'm gonna start from here just because I don't really know these fighters, and I want to give you the best predictions possible to the fighters I do know. So let's start with the first breakdown, the first prelim that I break down, which is Anthony Romero against Sergio Cosio. So Anthony Romero is good. He's really good. In his last fight, he got knocked out by Oliver Aubin Mercier. Nothing to be ashamed of. OAM became a two times champion in PFL. And to be honest, it was, even for OAM, it was a challenging fight, I would say. Anthony Romero is also coming from Canada, and he's a very good fighter. He's very smart. He calls himself the genius for a reason. Now he's taking on Sergio Cosio, who's a good fighter as well. He's coming out of Lux. He had one fight in Bellator, and I just think that there's levels in this game, and Anthony Romero is better everywhere. I'm not really a fan of Cosio chin. He got knocked out a lot. If you go back to his, to the beginning of his, I would say, journey in MMA, he got knocked out a lot. He got submitted a lot. Now, obviously, you improve, especially in the grappling, but the chin doesn't change, right? It's not like your chin becomes stronger. The opposite, the more time passes, the more the chin, I'll say, fades. And I think Anthony Romero can finish him. He has really good striking, and I like him here as the favorite. I think he's going to win probably by knockout, first or second round. Next fight, we got Michael Dufort taking on Adam Piccolotti. So I picked Dufort to win against Mets Burnell in his last fight. And he was the dog, and he won. And what I like about Dufort, man, he's a badass. He's training with OAM, who was the champion. And there's something about him, like the energy, the viciousness. He's a very good fighter, very durable. He was never finished. And I think he's gonna knock out Piccolotti. Like, he's just, again, there's levels. I like where Dufort is training. I like where he's coming from. His record shows how dangerous he is. And I think that Piccolotti is just not at his level. He got knocked out viciously by Elvin Espinoza. It was unfortunate for him because he was winning that fight, and somehow Espinoza found that flying knee. But I think that Dufort is better than Espinoza as well, and I think that Piccolotti's chin is still compromised. That's the problem when you have this season. The fighters don't get enough time to recover. You need at least 6 months after he got knocked out like he did. And that's just gonna make Dufort's job much easier because he already knows that chin is compromised. We saw what happened with Alexander Volkanovski in his fight against Ilia Topuria. His chin was already compromised after Islam knocked him out. And then Ilia Topuria did the same. With that being said, I like Dufort a lot. I think he's going to win, probably by knockout. Next fight, we got Gadzhir Rabadanov and Elvin Espinoza. I'm picking Rabadanov, quite confident about this. Again, Elvin Espinoza was losing in his last fight with Piccolotti. He somehow got that flying knee, that's fine, that's good for him. But I don't see it happening with Gadzhir Rabadanov. I think that Gadzhi wrestling will be just too much for Espinoza. He's going to lay on him. He's going to keep pressuring him for 3 rounds, and he's going to win by decision. Elvin Espinoza is durable. He's not going to finish Espinoza, but he's going to control Espinoza. He's probably going to just look better in front of the judges. And that's why I like Rabadanov to win by decision. Okay, he's not going to finish him. Rabadanov is my pick. He has the better wrestling. He has strength for 3 rounds, for hard 3 rounds to just lay on him. And that's what's going to give him the win. Next one, we got Sadibou Sy and Tom Breeze. Man, I bet on Sadibou Sy in his last fight against Josh Silveira, and I got fucked because his fucking thumb went out or some shit. And I don't see this happening with Tom Breeze. That was like a fucked up injury, It's anything could happen in an MMA fight, but it's very low percentage it's gonna happen again. I think that Sadibou Sy has obviously the better striking. The only way Tom Breeze is winning here is if he manages to take down Sadibou Sy. And to my surprise, Josh Silveira took him down quite easily. Sadibou Sy said he's been working on his wrestling defense, but he got taken down. I just don't think that Tom Breeze has the same wrestling pedigree that Josh Silveira has. I think he's gonna find it much harder to get Sadibou Sy down. He also got knocked out by Wilkinson in his last fight. His chin must be compromised as well. I think that Sadibou Sy will manage to knock out Tom Breeze. He's just a better striker. So yeah, that's it. I'm picking Sadibou Sy to win by knockout. Next one, we got Solomon Renfro and Brent Primus. I like Primus here. The reason I like Primus, he has the better grappling. Primus is fucking huge for this weight division. He doesn't look 155. This motherfucker can go and fight in welterweight easily. He's just a monster. And I think that he's gonna control Renfro for 3 rounds. He might get a submission. But Renfro is physically strong. He's explosive. But he fades as the fight goes on. And I think just Primus will manage to control him and get the decision or submission win in this fight. I like Primus. And, if we're going to look at a similar fight, he lost to Rabadanov by decision. His last fight was against Rabadanov. He's lost unanimous decision. He also lost decision to Magomed Kerimov, and those people won because they managed to take him down and control him. And Brent Primus is going to do the same thing and going to get the unanimous decision win. Next fight, we got Alex Polizzi taking on Antonio Carlos Jr. I like Shoeface here. I think he can get the submission. I think it's going to be the first time Polizzi is going to get finished by submission. Listen, there's levels to this game when it comes to jiu-jitsu. Alex Polizzi might have good wrestling, but man, Carlos Jr. can just submit him from anywhere. Okay, and I'm not impressed by Polizzi. Like I picked against him in his fight against Impa, and I'm picking against him now with Antonio Carlos Jr. I think he's just the better overall grappler. He's more dangerous, and we saw it in his last fight against Simon Biong. He got the rear naked choke. I think it was the first round, and he's gonna probably get the rear naked choke here. And yeah, and that's why I like him to win. Next fight, we got Simon Biong and Yakshi Muradov. I actually picked in his last fight of Yakshi Muradov. I picked Jacob Neda to win. That was a bad pick because Yakshi Muradov ended up knocking him out. I really I undervalued Yakshi Muradov striking. I think he can win here as well. Simon Biong is mostly a striker, and I think Yakshi Muradov can use his wrestling here like he used it in his fight against Neda. Like he took him down a couple of times, and I think he can use it to control Biong, and he's also good on the feet, obviously. So I just see he has more weapons here to win, and that's enough for me to pick him in this fight. I like Yakshi Muradov to win. Next one, we got Rob Wilkinson and Josh Silveira. I'm picking Wilkinson here. He looked phenomenal in his fight against Tom Breeze, Thiago Santos. Like, this guy just keeps getting finishes, and I think he can finish Josh Silveira. But Silveira is very durable. That's the problem. Silveira is very durable, and we saw it in his fight against impa kasanganay. The amount of damage he ate there was insane, but still he wasn't finished. So that might be a problem for Wilkinson, because I don't know how he's gonna look in the later rounds if it gets there, right? You see, he has 7 TKOs in the first round, 7 submissions in the first round. So I just don't know how he's gonna look, and that's a problem because Josh Silveira is durable. So will he be faded in the later rounds? I don't know. But the pick will still be Rob Wilkinson. I think he's gonna finish Josh Silveira, but I won't be surprised if this gets to a decision. Next fight, we got Patricky Pitbull and Bruno Miranda. I actually like Bruno Miranda here. The only reason he lost in his last 2 fights is because he took people that could control him, taking down and control him. OAM controlled him most of the fight and finished him by ground and pound. Same with Primus, just Primus got a submission. Patricky Pitbull won't do that. He's a striker. And this is going to be a striking match. And I think that Bruno Miranda is the better striker. Like, you saw what happened to him. He got faded with Clay Collard. He lost to Shabili. He won against Roberto de Souza, who's a jiu-jitsu guy, but he couldn't manage to finish him, to take him down. He lost decision to Usman. This might be a close fight, but I think that Bruno Miranda has that dog in him. I think he wants that win more than Patricky. Patricky is already 38 years old, 5 months. Age is there against him. So I'm going to pick the dog. I like Bruno Miranda to win. Next fight, we got Impa Kasanganay and Jacob Neda. Now, the obvious pick here would be Impa Kasanganay, right? But I'll tell you, Jacob Neda has power. He has power. If he finds the chin, he can knock out anyone. I just don't think he will manage to find Impa's chin here. Impa looks levels above anyone he's been fighting so far. maybe other than his loss against Johnny Ablin, which I think he won. But Jacob Neda is not Johnny Ablin. He already got knocked out 2 months ago, and I think impa kasanganay will manage to knock him out again. But this is MMA. Jacob Neda has power, and he has a puncher chance. Okay, but I'm still gonna pick impa kasanganay to get the win. And last fight we got Clay Collard against Mads Burnell. I like Clay Collard here, man. Any fighter that cannot take Collard and control him, I'm picking Collard. This guy is a dog. He's a really big dog. Like, this motherfucker won't stop, will not stop. And he lost to people who could control him. OAM controlled him. AJ McKee submitted him. I just don't see Mads Burnell doing it. And I see Clay Collard winning here, probably by knockout. This guy has dangerous hands. He's a dog. I think he was never finished. Knocked out. He was never knocked out. He was knocked out, actually. Against who? Probably a knee or something. Yeah, he's a dog, man. I just don't see him getting finished by Mads Burnell. And yeah, Mads Burnell also just lost to Dufort. And Clay Collard is better. And I'm picking Collard. Now, before I finish, let's look at some odds and see if we can find any safety parlay for you guys. Okay, so we're here in fight odds, and I'm gonna look at some parlays we can take here. Okay, so I like Brent Primus to win. So I would take Brent Primus, and I will take impa kasanganay. Like both of them. This could be a good parlay. Another parlay I like here would be Gadzi Rabadanov with Dufort. That's a good mix. Rabadanov and Dufort. I like Bruno Miranda is actually the favorite. I like Bruno Miranda to win. You can take Clay Collard and Miranda as well. Can take Bruno Miranda and impa. There's so many spots here. Just make sure, if you bet, that you don't put the same parlay. Like, don't put impa in all of your parlays just because you don't want to risk it if he does lose, obviously. That's an option. But that's it, guys. If you enjoyed the content, make sure you like the video, you subscribe to the channel, and let me know your picks below. I'd love to hear from you as well. I'll see you I'm going to break down Bellator. I'm going to break down the UFC card. There's so much shit going on this weekend. I can't wait. Let's fucking go.